Hello everyone. Today we will see what measure of spread in data analysis is. Understanding data spread, a deep dive for analysts. So let's start. Here the essence of data spread is variability and context. So how data points differ from each other, crucial for understanding data distribution. So in measure of spread, uh, we study on how the given data is spread among all the data here, and context is not just central tendency but data dispersion. So measure of spread is also called as measure of dispersion, which reveals consistency and inconsistency. So we measure of spread in range in many different types. So we'll first start with range, which is a simple start. So definition is a difference between maximum and minimum values, which is simplest measure of spread. So if we have some data or some values, and it finds out that what is the range, minimum and maximum range of that data, and which is very easy to compute. So the limitations of range is it is highly sensitive to outliers and ignore internal data distribution. So next, interquartile range, which is IQR, robustness in focus. Definition, range of the middle 50% data, and quartile resistance is less affected by extreme values. Calculation is question 3 75th percentile and question number 25th percentile. So we can see the data or the example in this outlet. So moving next, we have variance, which is average squared deviation. Variance quantifies the spread of data around its mean, providing a critical measure for statistical interference. So here we have the formula, which is not this but x minus x bar bracket whole bracket square divided by n, and now what standard deviation is, interpretable spread. Standard deviation is the square root of variance, returning spread to the original units of easier interpretation. Now standard deviation's formula is summation of xi minus mu square bracket square divided by n, and standard deviation like square root of variance, we do this in root variance. Key characteristics: interpretable units, which is same units as original data. Normal distribution, crucial for empirical rule. Common measure, widely used in statistics. Coefficient of variance. Now we'll see what coefficient of variance is. Relative speed. The coefficient of variation provides a standardized measure of dispersion, allowing for comparison across dataset with different scales. This is also another method of calculating measure of spread. So the formula for the same is CV is equals to sigma upon mu. Scale independent. It is scale independent. So compares data with varying means and expressed as ratio. It is always calculated in often as a percentage, like calculated in percentage or ratio. And decision making, help access relative risks. So conclusion, choosing the right measure. So here we can see that how or when we can use the range, IQR, variance or CV. So selecting the appropriate measure of spread depends on data characteristics for analytical goals. So if you want to use range is very quick and simple overview. It doesn't dive deeply into the data. And for in IQR, it is for skewed data or for outliners. And in variance or standard deviation, it is for normal data, inferential statistics. So whenever we have a normal data, we can use variance or standard deviation to find the data. And for CV, coefficient of variance, it is for comparing variability across scales. So we can compare the variability by scales or by categories. Thank you so much.